from screaming and losing it in court to a total wacko in court.
It makes sense at times.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible.
These are four of the biggest psychopaths that appeared in court.
I watched the defendant brutally stab my daughter on my Ring camera.
This is Paul Senecal. He was convicted of brutally murdering his ex-girlfriend's daughter, 29-year-old Melanie Chinese, in Dutchess County, New York. Nearly a year after the killing, Senecal stood in court and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Melanie was stabbed to death inside the Wappingers Falls home she shared with her mother and her 3-year-old son. Prosecutors said Senecal carried out the attack while he was out on bail, wearing an ankle monitor, for 7 separate domestic violence charges involving Melanie's mother, Cheryl. They described him as obsessed, angry, and seeking revenge after being rejected.
The defendant has made it very hard for me to have a healthy personal relationship with my loved ones, especially my peers. I have trouble communicating with people. I always think I'm doing something wrong. I have shut myself out from the world. I'm afraid to let anyone in out of fear of what the defendant brutally stabbed my daughter on my Ring camera as she ran for her life, covering the wound in her neck while soaked in her own blood.
In court, Senecal appeared to cry and apologized before sentencing. The judge wasn't moved. "You slaughtered Melanie, and you slaughtered her mother's heart," Judge Edward McLaughlin said. Melanie's mother then addressed the court, telling everyone she watched her daughter being stabbed on a Ring camera as Melanie ran for her life, holding her neck.
You slaughtered Melanie, and you slaughtered her mother's heart. Pursuant to the verdict of the jury, unanimous verdict beyond reasonable doubt. As regards count 1, murder in the first degree, court sentences life without parole. And I'm just asking any future entity, please don't ever let this man out, ever.
At trial, Senecal blamed the devil for the murder. His attorney claimed mental illness, despite 3 experts finding him competent. Prosecutors also revealed Senecal repeatedly violated restraining orders by contacting Cheryl from jail. As part of the sentence, the court imposed a 99-year restraining order and restricted his ability to communicate for the rest of his life. Melanie's mother now has custody of her grandson, who has autism and just turned 4. She told the court her daughter was killed before she could ever hear her son call her Mom. Moving on to a psychopath who taunted the victim's family. This is Shondell Jackson. He was convicted of murdering 21-year-old University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee film student Nathan Potter during a failed robbery in Milwaukee.
It can be said to bring back our Nathan. But your sentence can ensure that Shondell does not have the opportunity as a free man to inflict pain like this again. Is there such thing as pure evil? We think so.
When Jackson was brought into court for sentencing, emotions were already high. He was facing life in prison with no chance of parole. But moments after the judge handed down that sentence, the courtroom exploded,
sparking the outburst.
Jackson suddenly lost control. He began screaming obscenities at Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Rebecca Dellett. Deputies rushed in as he fought back, and he was wrestled to the floor of the courtroom. Pepper spray was used to subdue him, while a detective involved in the case was accidentally hit in the eyes by the spray. Jackson was then dragged out under heavy guard.
Left the courtroom.
Our little girl was afraid. She was afraid that he was going to try and kill one of us. She was afraid.
You know, I hope that as he spends the rest of his life in jail, that he comes to terms with it and does value human life.
As that chaos unfolded, things got even uglier. Members of Jackson's family stood in the back of the courtroom, yelling insults at Nathan Potter's parents as they cried. One woman screamed, "I hate you," while another shouted, "God's the judge," over and over. Nathan's younger sister later said she was terrified, believing someone was trying to kill her family right there in court. The judge also referenced video footage from earlier in the case showing Jackson smirking, mouthing obscenities, and laughing toward the Potter family after the guilty verdict was read, behavior that left a deep impression on everyone who saw it. Nathan Potter had been shot in the chest while walking home. He had no money, and the robbery failed. Jackson was sentenced to life without parole, plus additional prison time for attempted robbery and another shooting that happened the same day. What made this moment so disturbing wasn't just the sentence. It was the complete lack of remorse, the violent outburst in court, and the way the victim's grieving family was forced to relive the trauma in what should have been a moment of justice. Our next suspect is a total psychopath, which became pretty clear during the sentencing.
McEnroe, M-C-E-N-R-O-E.
Saying he would make sense at times.
I'm sorry. Oh, terrible.
This is Joseph McEnroe. On Christmas Eve 2007, in Carnation, Washington, he carried out one of the most horrific family massacres the state has ever seen. During a holiday gathering, McEnroe killed 6 members of his ex-girlfriend's family, wiping out 3 generations in a single night.
The emptiness, well, she should be.
Convicted killer Joseph McEnroe broke down, grabbed his head, and cried. McEnroe told
The victims were Wayne and Judy Anderson, both in their 60s, their son Scott and his wife Erica, both 32, and Scott and Erica's 2 children, 5-year-old Olivia and 3-year-old Nathan. Prosecutors said the family was gathered peacefully for Christmas when McEnroe and his ex-girlfriend, Michelle Anderson, arrived armed.
Diabolical.
I'm sorry, I did because I thought I had to. And yeah, I know that's not a very good excuse, but I'm not trying to excuse myself. I'm just trying to explain my actions.
According to testimony, once inside the home, the violence unfolded step by step. McEnroe killed Wayne and Judy Anderson, then waited for Scott, Erica, and their children to arrive. When they did, the couple carried out the rest of the murders. McEnroe later admitted he personally killed the 2 children, telling the court he did not want any witnesses.
I've also taken from them from these people who had done nothing but shown me kindness and goodness, and if I thought that holding myself or killing myself or doing anything I could do would go off and bring back these people or ameliorate the pain or something, I would.
At trial, McEnroe's guilt was never in doubt. Jurors heard his taped confession and watched him testify about his role in the killings. However, during the penalty phase, McEnroe and his defense claimed he was manipulated and coerced by Michelle Anderson, pointing to his troubled childhood and serious mental health issues as mitigating factors.
Life imprisonment without the possibility of release or parole.
In March, a jury convicted McEnroe of 6 counts of aggravated murder. Jurors then spent more than 3 days deciding whether he should live or die. In the end, they rejected the death penalty and sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As the verdict was read, McEnroe showed no visible reaction. Some jurors later said the decision was emotionally devastating. Others believed death was justified. But for the victim's family, the sentence brought a sense of finality. McEnroe will never be free, and the case remains a chilling reminder of how fast a family celebration can turn into unimaginable tragedy. Our next case is not only psychopathic, but it is racist as well.
What do I tell you?
Go back to Tennessee too. We don't want you here. All your race baiting bullshit. You ain't gonna be mayor either, bitch. You ain't gonna be mayor either, bitch. You fucking hoe. You fucking hoe.
This is Jeremy Christian. In 2017, he carried out a brutal hate-driven attack on a crowded MAX train in northeast Portland. Christian stabbed 3 men in the neck, killing Taliesin Namkai Mech, 23, and Ricky Best, 53. And critically wounding Micah Fletcher, who survived. Prosecutors said the violence was sparked after Christian went on a racist, anti-Muslim rant, screaming slurs and threats at 2 teenage girls, one black and one a Somali immigrant wearing a hijab. When passengers stepped in to stop it, the situation exploded. Christian knocked a phone out of Namkai Meshe's hand, shoved him and Fletcher, and when Fletcher told him to get off the train, Christian pulled a knife and started stabbing. Best, who was standing nearby and hadn't engaged with him, was also stabbed. Much of the attack and its aftermath was caught on surveillance and bystander video. The night before the killings, Christian had already shown the same violent behavior. On another train, he hurled a Gatorade bottle at Demetria Hester, a black woman, seriously injuring her eye. Less than 18 hours later, 2 men were dead.
No, hey.
Go back to Tennessee, too.
What do I tell you?
Go back to Tennessee, too.
You can.
We don't want you here.
Bye.
All your race-baiting bullshit. You ain't gonna be mayor either, bitch. You ain't gonna be mayor either, bitch. You fucking hoes. You fucking hoes. You fucking up the whole city. George Floyd. George Floyd. I should have killed you, bitch. I should have killed your bitch ass. Everybody knows you're a liar. Everybody knows you're a liar, huh?
He went on a rant and created an outburst during the sentencing when a black woman was giving a speech with a mask referencing George Floyd. Christian was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and multiple other charges. A jury also found the attack was motivated by race and bias. In 2020, he was sentenced to 2 true-life sentences without parole, plus 25 additional years.
The verdict is guilty. On count 11, unlawful use of a weapon, the verdict is guilty, and on count 12, menacing, the verdict is guilty. Is that an accurate reading of the verdict? Okay. So the law does allow us to poll the jury to ensure that it is a lawful verdict.
The Oregon Court of Appeals upheld every part of that conviction and sentence, rejecting all 16 arguments raised by his defense. The court also agreed with the jury's finding that Christian showed no remorse, noting that after his arrest he claimed the stabbings were justified and said he didn't feel sorry at all. The ruling ensures Christian will never be free and reinforces just how deadly unchecked hate can become in seconds.